What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be discussing Snow White's box office potential and just how much of a disaster this movie actually is and is about to be. So, first of all, I've never seen the internet more united than when the topic of Snow White comes up. I've never seen a more unanimously hated thing, probably ever. Honestly, just everybody. I mean, just everybody just hates this movie for a bunch of different reasons. There's a lots of different reasons. There's tons of controversy surrounding the film. Some people just don't like Disney live-action remakes. They want more original stuff. Obviously, the main actress Rachel Zegler has made a few enemies for sure, but there's just a lot of controversy, and basically everything that could have gone wrong with this film did go wrong for Disney. And a lot of people were really curious about how it would, fare at the box office on its opening weekend and the weekends after it. Well, we have tickets on sale for this thing, and we have ticket sales. The film is like 3 days away from coming out, so you would assume that, ticket sales would be pretty good for this film and things would be selling out. Well, they're not. And I've gone on, I've gone on X, I've gone on a lot of social media, and people are just posting pictures of just empty theaters. Their empty theater, the tickets just are not selling anywhere. And right in front of me here, I have the opening night fan event, at Burbank. And Burbank is probably, I would say, the number one, if not, it's one of the number one, like one of the biggest theaters in the country. And this is like every single screening just is like always sold out for so many big films here. This is Thursday, okay, in 3 days. The opening night fan event. This is the first thing that should sell out for any movie. They're fan events. Disney does this, Universal does this with a lot of their movies where they'll do opening night fan events where you have all the big major Disney or Universal fans or fans of the movie going to see it. And this is like the first thing that sells out. Well, if we go over to it and click on it here, you can see that this is the first thing that should always sell out, the opening night fan event. And this is probably the most depressing I've ever seen an opening night fan event ever. Because usually when you have opening night fan events, it's usually for movies big enough to where people will actually go to an opening night fan event. And Disney is definitely one of the most culturally relevant studios, and so they take advantage of this all the time and do opening night fan events. This is horrible. I've never seen it this empty in any opening night fan event in my entire life. This should have been sold out a month ago. And here we are 3 days away from the release of the movie, and there's probably 10 people in that theater. Just 10 people, and just a completely empty theater. If we go over to the actual screenings of Snow White on Thursday at the IMAX at Burbank, here's a 2 o'clock screening. Again, probably about 10 people in that theater. That should be sold out. All of these screenings right here should be completely sold out. Here's 4:45, and here we are again. About 10 people in that theater. They are not selling tickets anywhere right now. There's just no tickets going out for this film, and the projections still have it. I don't think we've had an updated projection yet, but they're still kind of hanging around 50 million is what they're saying. That's ridiculous. This is going way lower than 50 million. Way lower than 50 million. I think this film's lucky if it gets to 30 million, honestly. I would be surprised if it got to 35. This is just really bad. This is worse than Joker 2. And Joker 2 opened to about $37 million and made a lot of their fans mad with the decisions they made throughout the movie, very similar to Snow White. And yeah, this is horrible. These ticket sales just really, really rough. And they had their premiere, the Snow White premiere, and so people were wondering, okay, how are the reviews going to be? Because obviously this has caused a lot of controversy in a lot of different ways, but how about the movie's actual, like, the quality of the film? So they had the premiere, Except the premiere was very, very selective who they decided to bring to the premiere. In fact, they did not allow the first premiere, they did not allow any critics or audience members to go to the premiere, which is, I think, one of the first times Disney's ever done that, ever. And so basically, they're not, the only people that were allowed in the premiere were like the in-house Disney executives, were the only ones allowed inside of the first premiere. And that's a terrible sign. That is a ridiculously terrible sign. When you're not even allowing people to come in and give their opinion on the film, that's a really bad sign. It's clear Disney's just trying to bury this film from public knowledge. And they had the actual premiere where the social reactions came online for some of the critics, some of the smaller critics, and they were somewhat positive, but you can tell. The funny thing is, reading some of the reviews, they're like, well, it's a decent film. Some of the choices are baffling. It's a decent film. It's a solid film. It's like, if Disney is inviting these people, they're clearly selective who they decide to invite because they know who's going to basically always say everything Disney's good or whatever. And, you know, that's who they're going to invite to the premiere, especially for a film like Snow White with so much controversy. They're going to be very selective. And the fact that even those people are coming out of the theater and not just giving glowing reviews, they're just saying it's a decent film, it's a solid film, it was all right. That's a bad look for this film. The fact that even the most, like, the people who are going to say the best things about this film aren't even saying the great things about the film is just a really bad look for it. So I would be very surprised to see this film even cross 35 million, and my personal projection on this film of what I think it's going to make is probably around, I'm going to say like 31 million is kind of what I'm seeing with this film. I could see it going way lower. I could see it possibly going to 25 million. So I could see it going way lower, but I don't think it's going to go any higher than 31 million. So I'm going to take it at about 31 million. But I think it could go way lower. I think it could be way worse. And I definitely think the second weekend drops are going to be really, 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 really bad. So overall, and if you accounting for the budget too, Snow White's budget was like 250 to 300 million is what the projected budget is for it. And so this film needs to make $700 million just to break even. That's like, for any film that's difficult to do, but especially for this film, I think this film will be lucky if it does 150 million worldwide by the end of its run. So Disney is going to lose hundreds of millions of dollars from this movie and really hurt their reputation with fans for this film. So Disney is at a loss with this one. So yeah, is Snow White probably going to be the biggest bomb in Hollywood history? It might be. It really might be. So, if you guys like this video, make sure you give it a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, almost at 600 subscribers, and see you guys next time.